New chapter begins for the WSL.
Oh, what a shot! Oh, that's outrageous! Fantastic finish!
How about this?
Chelsea are the Women's Super League champions.
Good evening from South London. We're at Kingsmeadow for this Women's Super League clash. Chelsea arrive riding high after seeing off Manchester United to retain the League Cup, but the focus now snaps back to the WSL, where their season has yet truly to catch fire. Third in the table and playing catch-up. They've steadied things after a rare wobble under Sonia Bonpastor, responding to back-to-back defeats with consecutive 2-0 wins. Still, with just 6 games left, there's no margin for error. Every point matters in the push up the table. The other fixtures then and results from the weekend. 0-0 between Aston Villa and the league leaders Manchester City. Liverpool 2, Leicester City 0. Arsenal beat London City Lionesses by 2-0, and Everton beat Spurs by 2-1. And then the other fixtures today is Manchester United away at West Ham in another big fixture that has implications at both ends of the table. So this is how the Barclays Women's Super League table looks then ahead of tonight. Manchester City still top of the tree with a 9-point gap at the top, having only picked up 1 point at the weekend. Manchester United play tonight, looking to close that gap to 6. Chelsea just behind United, and then Brighton 2 points behind London City in 8th, level on points with Aston Villa. So an evening under the lights in South London. Kickoff a few moments away, and we can hear from the two managers, with Sophie Downey starting with the Chelsea manager Sonia Bonpastor, who has made some changes tonight.
Yeah, I think that's important when you are playing every 3 days, to rotate the squad, giving the opportunity to some players to come into the game and try to impact the team performance. So yeah, important to do that when you play every 3 days.
So it's going to be a very special evening for Lexi Potter coming in to start in the midfield. What has she shown you in training to give her the confidence of that start?
Yeah, I think Lexi is doing well in training session, but also anytime she had to play with us, she had great performances. So I really believe in her. I think I trust the quality she can bring into this squad, especially in possession of the ball. So yeah, hopefully she will be able to show that tonight for us.
In terms of Brighton, the last time you met was in December. You came out on top that day. What were the learnings from that game, and what are you kind of expecting from them tonight?
Yeah, I think Brighton is a team who is really confident and comfortable on the ball, so we expect them to be able to cause us some trouble. That's why we will have to be really performant in terms of out of possession, especially with the high press. But also we want to try to be dominant in the game, so we want to control the game as much as we can. That's why it's important for us also to have the ball as much as possible.
And finally, back at Kingsmeadow in front of your fans after that cup win, you're excited to see them tonight?
Yeah, really excited, you know. You play football to just share these emotions with them. Having the opportunity to play tonight at Kingsmeadow, it's great. Back to the league, and I'm hoping for them to cheer for us and give us this extra advantage to win the game tonight.
Chelsea, you know them very well, of course. You met last in December. They came out on top of that day. What was the learnings from that game?
Look, we weren't happy with that day. I thought, we were very passive. We didn't really play. We didn't look confident. Second half, we sort of started brightly. Couldn't. We had a couple of chances maybe to bring it back to 2-1 and give ourselves a little bit of lift and momentum, especially at home. So we'll look for hopefully a better start to the game tonight. Try be more involved in the game with and without the ball. So yeah, look, it's a fantastic test. They're the champions. They're the League Cup winners now as well. So yeah, it's a great one for us on our journey.
So Sonia Bonpastor and Dario Vidicic with Sophie Downey ahead of kickoff, and tonight I'm delighted to be joined by the former Arsenal and Ireland goalkeeper Emma Brine. Good evening, Emma.
Good evening, Emily. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm expecting a good game for this one. It's a catch-up fixture. Chelsea, of course, are kind of pushing on from a little bit of a blip this season. Brighton very much in that mid-table. What are you expecting to see from these two sides?
Well, it's interesting because whenever I watch Brighton, they always surprise me, whether good or bad. They're such a brave team, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it can be awful and sometimes it can be brilliant, but that's what makes them an exciting team to watch, to be quite honest. And then you've got Chelsea, of course, who are changing, rotating team all the time. Sonia Bonpastor needs to rotate because of injuries, and the pressure's on, so it's always interesting to see how they turn out. But I do think it's going to be in favour of Chelsea tonight.
It's been interesting. They've had an interesting season, Chelsea. I mentioned the title race, I guess. Manchester City at the top of the tree. Do we think that it's too far gone now? Do we think it's City's to lose? Have Chelsea got anything to play for?
Always. You know, you just don't know what's going to happen. You know, albeit it looks very, very difficult for Chelsea. But in terms of Manchester City having won it, absolutely not. You know, there's still pressure there, still big teams there. Manchester United are a little bit behind them, but they're on their heels, and you can never ever say die. You just have to keep going right to the end, and we've learned that in the previous years.
Well, let's have a look at the team news then. For Chelsea, 3 for Sonia Bonpastor from winning the League Cup final. Hannah Hampton keeps her place in goal. A change in midfield with Vika Kaptein back in, and a first start for Chelsea Academy product. Lexi Potter and Aggie Beaver-Jones returns, having scored at the weekend to lead the line. As for Brighton, the visitors, 4 changes for Dario Vidicic's return to the WSL in over a month. Former Chelsea midfielder Frank Kirby returns to the starting 11 alongside Caitlin Hayes, with Carla Camacho returning to lead the attack. There is no leading goalscorer Kiko Seike, who is still taking part in the Asia Cup. So, some talking points with those two teams. For Chelsea, a first start for Lexi Potter, Chelsea Academy product, had a few years of experience at Crystal Palace. A big night for her.
Yeah, it is a big night. You know, I think she's earned it. Her first appearance with the seniors, or especially on a big stage, was the Champions League last year in November 2025, and she came on against Paris. Huge game. And you know, since then, 20 minutes here and there, Liverpool, 15 minutes of Spurs, so they've been building her up to this. I think it's going to be really interesting, especially the type of football Brighton play. It's very transitional, so it'll be interesting to see how she does, how she plays along Kira Walsh in there.
Well, ahead of kickoff, there will be a period of silence to the Oxford United player, 15-year-old Amelia Applin, who collapsed during a match and later passed away, and Chelsea goalkeeper Amy Carr. And Becky Spencer, Lucy Bronze and Frank Kirby will collect the wreath to place down in the centre, and the period of silence will begin on the referee's whistle.
Amelia and Amy's families, friends and loved ones at this incredibly difficult time. Becky Spencer, Lucy Bronze and Frank Kirby will lay a wreath in Amy's memory ahead of a period of silence for Amy and Amelia, which will begin and end on the referee's whistle.
The two teams remembering the life of the Oxford United player Amelia Applin and Amy Carr, a former Chelsea goalkeeper that Becky Spencer once played with, who sadly passed away a few weeks ago. And of course, all our thoughts here are with their family and friends at this difficult time. But the action returns in the WSL between these two sides. A big night under the lights at Kings Meadow. And actually, Emma, it's important to stress that Brighton, in mid-table, they're without their top goal scorer tonight, Kiko Seke. How important is that going to be for them?
Huge. It's massive. You know, she's a great player for them. You know, and also she's good out of possession. She's good at working back. She's good at working for the team. And another huge player that they're missing is her Japanese teammate Moeka Minami at the back as well, who's really, really good on the ball and who starts all the build-up. And so those two players are very important alongside Charlie Rule. So, you know, big players missing for Brighton tonight.
Well, we're off and underway then in South London. Chelsea chasing ground in the title race against the Brighton side, looking to halt their slide and rediscover some rhythm after a long break from league action. And immediately Chelsea win it back with Nuskin. Slip through, Thompson. Nuskin again, winning it back. Kirby, the former Chelsea midfielder, a Chelsea legend in these parts. And actually, I will touch on that point again, Emma, about Brighton not being in action for over a month in the WSL. That's got to cause maybe a little bit of a problem for Vidicic and management-wise.
Yeah, I mean, that is a long break, isn't it? Of course, you had a game cancelled, the Arsenal game was cancelled, and then the 2 week now they've extended this international camp for longer. It's a 2 week break for clubs. So it turns out to be a month not playing a game, but you know, it's always going to be difficult for that. As well as Vidicic being away, obviously the death of his father, that's unsettling for the team as well. So yeah, it's been a tough ride for them so far.
Here's Hayes. Let's run down the wing to find McLaughlin. Booted away by Berman. Headed back into the danger area. Haley still with it, and Hampton with some work to do to smother that.
It's good play from Brighton. You can see exactly what they're trying to do. They will work Chelsea's left-hand side with Sandy Baltimore, who's quite an attacking player. As you can see, she's playing in a left-back position. So they're certainly going to try and exploit that. And Rachel McLaughlin is very, very clever. She's very good at getting forward, and timing of her runs are good. Not happy with the pressure of the ball, a little bit flat.
Only 2 minutes in, you would have thought that maybe someone would have checked that before. It hasn't taken too long. Hampton back in action.
Lauren James playing in a wider position tonight, that left wing position. She was a 9 last week.
Kirby, nice through ball to Madison Haley. Haley still with it, Haley, and it's blocked by Berman. Brighton with some early pressure here.
Madison Haley's such a handful. She's so strong. If they can find her feet, she can get in a 1v1. She's a really, really positive, dangerous player.
Baltimore.
You can see Aggie Beaver-Jones dropping right down into that midfield, it's creating a box-like. Just having another look at this from Madison Haley. Really strong in the ball, and Lucy Bronze, a difficult time there. Experienced fullback. But that's what Brighton will be looking to do, to try and get Hayley on the ball and using her strength.
Only scored twice this season, Madison Hayley. Still really looking to get going. And of course, as we said, their top goal scorer, Kiko Seke, out at the Asia Cup.
It's difficult. I think that's where the inconsistencies come for Brighton. They struggle to field the same 11 through injuries and whatnot. And then, of course, with the Asia Cup, we've got 3 big players away. It's always difficult.
Sign, back to Walsh. And out to Baltimore. Lauren James.
Definitely expect to see that tonight. A lot of movement in there, Emily. You can see Sandy Baltimore in a really high position. She's playing left back tonight, and Lauren James dropping in, as you can see here, what she likes to do. Nice movement out on that left-hand side.
So effortless, just guides through. Miskin just slightly loses her footing there.
Yeah, Lauren James just makes it look so easy, doesn't she? Such a natural player.
And of course scored last time out in the League Cup final to bring back the first silverware of the season too for Chelsea. So they've got that added confidence tonight coming into this Brighton side.
Chelsea are heavy, reliant on these big players, aren't they? And I think that's one thing about their season so far, is that they've been missing or poor form. I think Lauren James is just coming into form now. But apart from that, Myra Ramirez, big player they're missing. Sam Kerr hasn't been right this season, just coming back in as well. So I'm expecting Chelsea to finish strong.
Thompson, Eva Jones, back to Bronze.
Just look how low this Brighton team are playing in that block. Just trying to force Chelsea out into those wide areas.
Nuskin. Walsh. And back to Berman. Camacho with some pressure on Hampton. And here is Lexi Potter, a first start for her in a Chelsea shirt.
She looks tidy. Not a big job really, is it? Straight into that midfield, into that Chelsea midfield. No problem, no pressure.
Along with the likes of Kira Walsh, Lucy Bronze, only 19 years old, Lexi Potter.
What a pass from Hannah Hampton.
And nicely worked down the flanks to Thompson. And Ollis Lagers is there to see it out.
Ollis Lagers does really well. Thompson is so quick. It's exactly where she wants to be, in those wide areas and 1v1s.
Walsh. Baltimore. And that did go out.
That's why I just enjoy watching Brighton play, because, well, it's another reason they make mistakes, makes it interesting.
Eva Jones goes for the strike, it's blocked by Hayes. The edge of the penalty area, here comes Potter. And now Chelsea finding some flow now inside the opening 10 minutes. Thompson Beaver-Jones, nice 1-2 between the pair. Swung back in, and then Dozie is there. 2 gloves up, safe hands.
You know, you'll see this from Brighton. They play such expansive football. And I've said it before, it's dangerous football, but really exciting to watch. But if they give it away in those areas, they're going to get punished. And, you know, with the quality that Chelsea have, they just need to be a little bit extra careful in those areas.
Worked well by Brighton on the right-hand side. Comes McLaughlin. Camacho is calling for it, hits a Chelsea foot and deflected out. Brighton very much in this tie.
Really, really good play from Brighton again, down their right-hand side. Again, Rachel McLaughlin making that run. And it's great play for Camacho to draw in Sandy Baltimore there, just leaving that space. And of course it's Haley again on the ball. It's a great block from Lucy Bronze.
Yeah, at the near post, Hampton was there, and it could have gone anywhere. And the first corner of the game. Swung in the middle, headed out. Balls for Camacho, who's forced to exit. McLaughlin back out wide. Here's Chankovic, the former Chelsea player. And seen all the way.
Chelsea, to me, don't look very, very convincing on defensive set pieces. I definitely think that's a target area for Brighton. They've got good players in the box, good headers. You know, Manuela Venegas, she's not the tallest, but she's good in the air. And then, of course, you've got Madison Haley, as I've said before, is very, very difficult to manage.
Venegas. Cut out by Bronze. Here goes Captain, wiggling through the midfield, out to Baltimore. Captain, James. Back out to Baltimore. Skips past Kirby, headed down by Hayes, and Camacho clears.
Sandy Baltimore does this so well when she's on the ball, just drawing a player in and just pushes it past them. She's got a great delivery too, but it's well defended, the Brighton back line.
Here they come again, and it's headed in! And it's Alyssa Thompson once more. And it's come exactly from Sandy Baltimore on the left-hand side. And Alyssa Thompson there, a bullet header into the back of the net. And just like that, Chelsea leads.
Well, you can see just how happy Thompson is, because it's not usually her headed goals that we talk about her for. It's usually her pace and her 1v1s, but it's a great header from her. It's good play. Lauren James, a lovely back heel. And look how much space Sandy Baltimore has to pick her out. It's a great header. Nearly going behind her. She's done ever so well there. It's a great goal for Chelsea.
Absolute no chance for Ndozi.
No, not at all. You'd have to have a look at Manuela Venegas there, just for letting Thompson creep off her like that. Vidicic won't be happy with that.
Well, it's her 9th goal of the season for Alyssa Thompson since signing in the summer from Angel City. And she's having a fantastic season with her new club. Baltimore. James. Lovely play between the two, and now Baltimore charging again Down the left-hand side, Beaver Jones. Nuskin in some room now, Nuskin! It's well off target. And you feel maybe she had better options in that moment.
Absolutely, I think so. But you know what? She's so much space, and they were just backing off her. Can't begrudge her that.
Nadine, come towards. Other way,
Oh, risky business from Ndozi, laying out from the back. We've seen them caught out like that before. Beaver Jones, Baltimore.
You know, it's difficult for a manager because the way Dario Vidicic wants to play, you know, that expansive football, you can see the big gaps. You need your keeper to be really good with the ball at their feet.
Here's Thompson trying to wiggle her way in. Cleared once more by Brighton, and they're really under it at the minute, Brighton.
Here's the perfect example of an excellent goalkeeper. Hannah Hampton, she is the best goalkeeper with the ball at her feet. She's so good, and it just allows the back line to spread out.
James, Lexi Potter, to the gloves of Ndozi. But what a goal that would have been on her first start. Full of confidence, full of life, this Lexi Potter.
Absolutely, and why not? It's a decent first-time strike for her, and that will give her confidence, and it's exactly what she needs.
Camacho with a deflected strike. Oh, and it's gone in. Camacho gets one back for Brighton, deflected. And caught off of Hannah Hampton. And it's a goal back for Brighton.
It took a minute, didn't it? It took a couple of seconds to go in, to sink in that they'd scored, because nobody celebrated it. You can see here, Camacho's done so well. That touch inside is absolutely fantastic. And we'd seen Lucy Bronze make a great block some minutes before, but this little deflection just guided it in, and Hannah Hampton thought that was going well past her post. She didn't even bother. It's crept in.
Well, I thought it had gone round the goal. I didn't realise that it had gone into the back of the net. And it's come really against the run of play for Brighton, but Vidicic will be pleased with an equaliser so soon after Chelsea had taken the lead.
Well, this is the problem for Brighton right here. When Chelsea managed to switch it out to that other side, there's a lot of space. Brighton have done well to get back, though.
Chelsea, again, hot on the pressure, though, end to end. Back with Bronze. And Thompson, who scored the opener for Chelsea a few moments ago. Thompson manages to get her cross away. It's met by nobody, though. Baltimore recycles. Again, the cross is off. And cleared up by Camacho. Bronze.
We are seeing a lot more of that from Chelsea, trying to get the ball into those wide areas. They're becoming a team to get the ball into the box and invade that area.
Potter, Walsh, Kira Walsh. Oh, it hits the back of her own teammate, Maggie Beaver-Jones. Back with Baltimore. I want to ask you, Emma, about the goalkeepers nowadays. Do you think they're being told to be better with their feet? As Potter is brought down by Venegas then.
Oh, that was late, wasn't it? I'm not sure it warranted a yellow, but this is what's going to be the problem for Venegas. She's been told to jump and put pressure on in those gaps. And she's late here, and that's going to happen again to her. She's going to have to be very, very careful. Fear for Venegas now on that yellow, 20 minutes in.
The last of the defence for Brighton, and now Chelsea with a dangerous-looking free kick. So James swings it in, punched out by Ndozi. And Potter will let that trickle out for a throw.
Well, the Chelsea players didn't even bother to go for that, really. You can tell Brighton are going to do a zonal drop, so it's about getting the players in there. They just stopped. Good punch from Ndozi.
Bronze. James, and the offside flag goes up.
Yeah, just going back to your question, Emily, about the goalkeepers, it's, you know, it's just a change of mindset, really. Goalkeepers have to be good with the ball at their feet now because of how teams want to play. They want to play possession-based football. They want to have their goalkeeper as the third centre-back, really, so it just allows the other players to spread out, and as you can see here, as you'll see in the bigger picture, they'll be wider, and Hampton's on the ball as an outfielder, and it's really difficult to press against. As an opposition, you're trying to stay compact and narrow, but if the goalkeeper's good with their feet, then it allows the players to go wide and just create that space on the outside.
Chelsea on the attack again. Over the heads of everyone, though. Well, we can see from the possession stat that Chelsea are in control on the field. But with that strike from Camacho, it's all level. A brilliant little spin from Potter there. Walsh, header on to Beaver-Jones. James.
Brighton finding it really difficult to keep hold of that ball, aren't they? They've got the numbers back there. It's all well and good, but when you do win it back, there's only one player to play it to, and that's Madison Haley. And they're all over, making it difficult to get a breather. I think Ndozi has given up playing short, to be honest. She had options there, decided to go long. Chelsea's press looks very, very aggressive as well.
Yeah, she knows the threat that this Chelsea side holds. As James teases her way through. James with a dangerous looking cross, no one is there. Potter out to Beaver-Jones, quickly pounced on by Haley, and now Brighton and Camacho are away. And she's never really going to get past the experienced Lucy Bronze, is she?
Always difficult, isn't it? Especially when she's already ran 40 yards. She's the only player up there known to pass to, but she's gaining yards. That was Madison Haley back there making that tackle in her own box, and the game plan, get behind the ball, get back behind it. Now what happens when they win it back is something that they might have to speak about at half-time.
For Sonia Bonpasto this year, though, it's been a little bit more topsy-turvy than her first season in charge. Of course, won the quadruple last year with this Blues side, but not really going to plan in the league. They did, of course, pick up the League Cup against Manchester United at the weekend. And it is still all to play for, but they made it a little bit more difficult for themselves.
You know, I always find myself talking the same kind of thing about Chelsea, how they make it difficult. They don't look like they're playing amazing football. I think they can do better, but they're still winning things. And you just said it there. It has been a bit of an erratic season for them, but they've won their first silverware, the first silverware of the league this season. But I do think, I said it before, they're quite dependent on certain players, and if those players are injured, like Man City also, I think similar, if their big players get injured, they really struggle.
Yeah, we saw how they struggled without Bunny Shaw. But they are top of the tree as it stands, on set for their first WSL title. Berman, Potter, Hampton. Oh, again, risky, playing out from the back with Hampton. Slips, but manages to find Nuskin on the right-hand side. Thompson. Lovely ball to find Lauren James. James eyes the shot. Blocked away.
Really good play again by Camacho. Just giving her team a little bit of a breather, if nothing else. But it was lovely play originally from Chelsea. That ball in from Lucy Bronze. You can see here Lexi Potter, and Hannah Hampton likes to do this. Never in doubt, was she? But she does like to do that. And what a ball she finds out, by the way, under that pressure. And afterwards you can see Fran Kirby asking her team to get higher, to put the press on, but sometimes you just can't be everywhere.
This time, no mistake, boots that well out. And along with the possession stat, Chelsea dominating in passes successfully completed tonight too. Just coming up to the half-an-hour mark. But it is 1-1, all to play for still.
Yeah, all of those stats at the end of the game, if it remains 1-1, they won't matter one little bit. I'd like to see that again, because Madison Haley's in a lot of pain. This is the goal again, isn't it? Well, if you don't shoot, you don't score. Definitely change the direction of the ball. Own goal? Not given.
It's been credited as a Camacho goal. But of course heavily deflected off of Lucy Bronze. And so now Brighton with a chance to take the lead for the first time in this game, headed up by Beaver Jones. Nordham. Swung in by Brighton, over the heads of everyone. Venegas.
Great. See him, what's coming? Further, Rach.
Hayes.
Further. Come closer, Rach. Come closer now.
You can hear, I think that's Dario Vidicic giving his team some instructions. Closer.
He's asking for composure, isn't he? He's saying stay on it, have some composure. And you can see Chelsea are standing off them, so it's valid.
Slagers. Skips past Thompson. Here's Kirby. Jankovic does well to see that out for a throw.
I think it is a problem in general for Brighton. They tend to be quite narrow, and if they're wide on one side, they're very narrow on the other, and it's happened a couple of times now. The ball has just floated over and nobody's on that weak side.
Nice from James to find some space with Nuskin. Thompson. Nuskin. A yellow card for her on that challenge on Maisie Simons.
Simons, it's going to be all right. Just Nuskin, the ball just went away from her, I think. See here, just that big touch out.
Here's Simons giving it away though. Captain James. Baltimore with the cross, punched out by Ndozi, and doesn't really fall kindly for a blue shirt. And Camacho once more sees it out, only as far as Sioka Nuskin.
Ndozi does really well. There's plenty of traffic in there. She does really well to get a strong fist in it.
Chelsea with more pressure though. James charging in, still with it. Lauren James. It's like she's got a magnet in that ball in her boots. How on earth she keeps that at her feet for so long, I don't know.
Well, for too long, to be quite honest, because she should have passed that. There was plenty of space on her left-hand side there. And I think that happens sometimes, it comes off. Listen, she's an absolutely world-class player. But if it is a little bit easy, I feel she might fall into that trap where, well, we've seen what she did in the Euros. Unbelievable.
Yeah, a very important player for both club and country. Of course, struggled with her injuries though this year, and Chelsea have missed her. Here's Thompson. Out from nowhere, oh, she slipped, and Thompson again with the cross off. No blue shirts in the penalty area though. Also Captain. And Brighton can take a sigh of relief for now as Venegas is brought down. Captain, oh, she's
not supposed to do that.
Given a booking sign to the referee. And now, really, it should be a booking for Venegas, but it's going to go to Captain.
Definite pullback, wasn't it? And you know, they know that Manuela Venegas is a strong player and she's a strong runner with the ball. It's probably one of her best attributes as a defender. She's bringing but the ball and carrying it up. Oh, we saw her score an amazing goal against West Ham.
minutes. Venegas. Here Basel in the background, riling up this Chelsea crowd at Kingsmeadow tonight. Dario Vidicic doesn't look too happy with what he's seeing, even though his team are level. He knows that came out of the blue. His team still have a lot of work to do in this game. Eva Jones. Bronze. Hampton again. It's tight. These Brighton shirts are pressing her. And Baltimore loses out on that. Here's Kirby and Haley. Haley swings it in. Finds Nuskin instead though. McLaughlin. McLaughlin with the strike just over the bar. Well, they have their moments of quality, Brighton.
They do, and you know, this is what they offer. Originally, I was wondering why they're pressing Hannah Hampton, because she's so good with the ball at her feet. But it's that second ball, the second phase, when it breaks down to Sandy Baltimore and Brighton win it back. And this is the player you want on the ball. Really nice feint. Not a bad effort at all.
Hasn't scored a goal yet this season, McLaughlin. Here comes Chelsea again, Beaver Jones. Still manages to retain it out to Thompson. Nuskin wasn't expecting that pass. Walsh. Captain keeps it in, but Mendozi able to regain.
You can see where the gaps are in that Brighton back line, and you can see Chelsea trying to open them up a little bit. I think we'll see it happen as the game goes on. It's really difficult to play how they play for the full 90 minutes of just fitness, but that concentration, those levels, and as I said, they do like to jump. They like to put pressure on. They will vacate their area, leaving gaps. Chelsea are very good at finding those gaps.
Well, there is Basel, you can see, just below the flagged the American players. Me official, of course, not in the squad anymore, but Katarina Macario.
They might have to change that flag completely, right? Soon. Rumours.
Nothing confirmed on here. Hampton boots it out to Baltimore. James. Captain Potter. Nicely worked by Chelsea. Here's Baltimore. This is where the first goal came from. Sandy Baltimore cuts in. A back heel by Beaver Jones and slotted in by Lexi Potter. And on her first start in a Chelsea shirt, she fires home to put Chelsea back in the lead. Fantastic.
Now, it was written for her, wasn't it? Again, fantastic work from that player, Sandy Baltimore. Really difficult to stop her, but if you were wishing anyone was going to score, be her, right? One to remember, just looking at Sandy Baltimore's footwork here, and really difficult for Rachel McLaughlin, and she just twists and turns. It's a great ball and a really nice set from Alyssa Thompson.
Well, the first goal came from this side too, came from Sandy Baltimore. She poked it in and fell really kindly to the 19-year-old. Her first goal for Chelsea in this senior side. What a moment for her.
Oh, she does well, doesn't she? She places it really nicely, very calmly. Brighton will be, again, a little bit disappointed with that, however. Too many bodies standing still.
Five minutes of normal time to go before the break. Chelsea re-establishing the lead once more. Potter. Through to Haley. Haley through to Kirby. It's just too far. Bronze can shield that from her former teammate. And now here is James again. Two yellow shirts shrugged off. Lauren James looking for some support now. Eva Jones and Baltimore. Captain Thompson. Nuskin. Walsh, lovely play from Chelsea. Almost finding the path of Beaver Jones there, and that certainly, you would have thought, would have been a third.
Really, really good play in the Chelsea midfield there. Just those combinations out wide, just creating numbers up. It's a great vision, great ball from Kira Walsh, and a really lovely run from Beaver Jones, blind side. I do think that's where Brighton will get caught out. There's big gaps in there between the centre halves and the full backs. We might see a little bit more of that second half from Chelsea.
Dozy out wide. Picked up by James once more though. Good work from Simons. Given away. James through to Beaver Jones. Aggie Beaver Jones! Big save from Mendozi. Big save.
Great save. Just given away by Simons. Just not being able to get the ball out of her feet, really. Should have been, shouldn't it? But it's a good save from Mendozi. Doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you keep it out of the net.
Just skim past the post, though. Lucky not to be at 3-1. But the pressure doesn't stop. Here comes a corner. Taken short, James. Baltimore. Swings it in nicely. A header up by Hayes. Out to Walsh.
Caitlin Hayes is so good at that. She's a monster in the air, probably the best I've seen. Such an advantage to have her in that back line, especially for set pieces.
Bronze. We're not expecting that long to be added on in this first half. Not many stoppages. Another mistake from Hannah Hampton there. See now.
You know, Hannah Hampton has gotten better at this, but sometimes she tries the difficult ball when there's an easier one on. She just needs to go back there to where it came from because they're pressing her, which means the player that's given her the ball is always going to be free. But I understand she can do those worldy passes, so you don't want to take it away from her either.
A rare mistake from her. So 1 minute added on. Potter, Baltimore, Berman, and Hampton, as you say, acting as kind of a centre-back in the back line.
And there's where it works.
Hayes. Baltimore plucked out, looking for another just before the whistle. Thompson, captain. Well, they're not going to get one. Half-time whistle blows, and it is Chelsea who are in control at the break, but an entertaining first half, and what a half for that 19-year-old Lexi Potter. Her first goal for her on her first start. Camacho equalised it up though. Came out of nothing for Carla Camacho. And of course, Alyssa Thompson with the opener for Chelsea. But a big second half to come up. And at the break, it's Chelsea 2, Brighton Hove Albion 1.
Caitlin Hayes has been so dominant in the air. Hayes really has been a brick wall for Brighton.
Hi, my name's Caitlin Hayes. I play for Brighton and Hove Albion and I am a central defender. If there was an extracurricular activity after school, I was signed up for it by my parents, and there was even times I was getting up at 5 AM to go for sports clubs before school. So I loved judo. That was my one sport that I probably enjoyed the most. But the loneliness of it at times could be quite challenging. So to be within a team atmosphere that football is was something that maybe this is the sport for you. And it just slowly took up more time than any other. Growing up, I didn't really have the representation. You dreamed of being David Beckham and Roy Keane, not necessarily a women's footballer. So I don't know, I don't think I ever had that realisation of it could be my job. I just was lucky enough to keep going, and that's ultimately why I'm here. So I obviously went to America. I went to Mississippi. American college is everything that the movies is. It's an episode of High School Musical. The athletes sit with the athletes. Non-athletic people will sit where they sit. And I studied kinesiology, which is basically the study of the body and the mind and how it moves. If I know what muscles hurt me, I can name them. My family are the ultimate support system that I've needed. They've done such a good job at staying involved but also staying out of it. My dad's always the loudest man in the stadium. My mum, she has a look that I know when I need to give more or I need to calm down. I started wearing pink pre-wrap maybe 5 years ago. I started it as just to keep flailing hairs out of my eyes until one day I put my head up and there was a little girl in pink pre-wrap. I always remember that moment because I just thought that was more important to me than the score of the game. And then there was 2, there was 3, there was 4, there was 50 kids in pink pre-wrap, and it's not something I wear for me, it's something I wear to show that I'm playing for them. And they obviously copy that, which I just think's wild. My mum wishes I'd changed the colour. She was like, when you go to Brighton, can we please change the colour of that pink pre-wrap? And I'm like, no, now it's stuck.
Towering header is in! Caitlin Hayes.
I scored my first goal in the WSL for Brighton on my 30th birthday, or the eve of my 30th birthday. I actually have a knack of making my birthdays pretty cool. I actually got my Irish passport 2 years ago on my birthday and got my debut for Ireland as well. So my birthdays are always never let me down for being a big occasion far beyond my birthday. But yeah, that moment obviously to have with my family. The pink pre-wrap was obviously in the crowd, a few Celtic fans came, and yeah, it's just a fairy tale. I've been at Brighton now for a year, and I think I could count the games on my hand where a Celtic fan with pink pre-wrap hasn't been in the crowd, but also says a lot about how little that message can be. Is just something that connects people, creates a community, and I don't think there's anything more inspiring than to be a part of a community that wishes all to do well, and I'm grateful to have found that.
So we can have a look at the other results from the weekend. A 0-0 draw between Aston Villa and the leaders Manchester City. Liverpool 2-0 up against Leicester City, and Arsenal put 2 past London City Lionesses. And a shock result at the weekend really. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Everton 2. And at half-time here it is Chelsea 2, Brighton Hove Albion 1, and goalless in the other fixture today, West Ham against Manchester United. And we can have a look at some of the first half highlights in this game. Brighton starting off with early pressure through McLaughlin on the right-hand side into Haley. And Hampton has to get down low to see that out.
Yeah, it's a really good run from Rachel McLaughlin.
This was the goal that gave Chelsea the opener. Alyssa Thompson, a fantastic header into the back of the net.
We're talking about down that side again, it's Sandy Baltimore making a big difference. Such a good deliverer of the ball. Great header from Thompson.
It really has been all Chelsea though, really, in this first half. Potter with an early strike again, but straight to the gloves of Ndozi.
It's great to see her having a pop in her starting debut.
And then here, a surprise goal really. Camacho with a long effort strike. It was heavily deflected, but rolled into the back of the net to find an equaliser.
Yeah, you can just see Lucy Bronze coming across here. And it does get a heavy, heavy deflection. Hannah Hampton was probably expecting that to drift wide, but deserved it. I thought Camacho's been very, very good first half.
McLaughlin again has eyes for goal, just over the bar.
It's a lovely feint from her. I think it's Captain just sold her there.
And then still though, Chelsea come again. Baltimore down the left once more, cut back in for Beaver Jones, left off by Thompson. And a first goal for Potter. Right place, right time on her first start in a Chelsea shirt.
With Sandy Baltimore again. Just look how quick her feet are. Really difficult for Rachel McLaughlin. It's a lovely touch from Thompson just to lay it back, and really calm finish from Potter to place it in that side net.
And then almost just before the break, Chelsea finding a third, given away. And it had to be a big save from Mendozi to stop Aggie Beaver-Jones from placing that into the back of the net. And so, at the break, it is Chelsea who lead. Chelsea 2, Brighton Hove Albion 1.
Oh my goodness me, that's the pick of the bunch from Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd.
Everything happens for a reason, and don't take anything for granted. I played with the boys team when I was 5. First thing you did when you came home after school, went straight to the backyard, and we had a football pitch right outside. In Tyresö with, I'm not sure actually, it's after some Champions League game. I didn't play, but I was there. I was on the bench for the Champions League final. My idol at that time, Marta, I was very, very grateful for that opportunity and to learn from best player ever. Unbelievable experience. So this is Djurgården, where I got my breakthrough. I got the opportunity to play for a team in the highest league in Sweden. As a young player, you don't really understand how the world works. This year was a really good year for me, and I think the key for me was the trust I got from the coach. He really saw me as the player I am and let me free and be me. This is my second year in Djurgården. I had a good first year, and then I played the second year and I was gonna sign for Rosengård. So I signed my contract, and then the day after I tore my ACL again. That was, yeah, a very tough period of my life. I think everything just happened so quick. I was so happy, signed a contract for the best team in Sweden, and obviously super excited to take the next step in my career, and then bam, setback again. Actually, I don't think I would be here today if it wasn't for those injuries and the time I had away from football, because that really made me appreciate every single training session, every single day. I don't take anything for granted. I don't think I'm mentally stronger and can handle stuff I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. Since my first year back, we won Swedish League, and that was the first time for me. And like you can see, it's with my 2 Swedish friends, 2 of my best friends. It's nice to see those faces. It was a really good year to come back after injury. I played almost everything, and to win that trophy, yeah, it was a big moment. I signed for a team that's called Kopparberg Göteborg, and then the team just like, no, we're not gonna have a team anymore. So suddenly I was there without a contract, without a club, and 1 week later Häcken came and started to let's go and create a women's team, and it worked out absolutely perfect. Chelsea called, I answered. And yeah, this is the proudest moment in my career for sure, to sign a contract with a club like Chelsea. Just a dream coming true. If you look at this picture, someone who dreamed big, and then a few years later I'm signing for the best club.
Their remarkable domestic dynasty shows no signs of slowing down.
It's a lot of trophies, and something you never take for granted.
So Brighton making their way out. And Chelsea in a huddle before this second half. They have the advantage for the next 45 minutes. And there is a substitution for Brighton, and it's going to be Bex Rayner who comes on. And the goal scorer, Carla Camacho, has made her way off. Are you surprised by that, Emma?
Not particularly. I think she's worked really hard. It's a really tough job up there in that press. Probably the hardest working press in that front three. And perhaps, you know, with Carla, it was difficult for her to maintain that. And then Bex Rayner has played, and she's been significantly good. So just giving her a chance, fresh legs, trying to get that press really aggressive up the top, particularly when they're playing through their goalkeeper.
She hasn't played many, Bex Rayner, who's just come on as a substitute, only 6. Mainly a cup player for Vidicic this season. She's been given the go-ahead in the league.
Yeah, and it's similar to Camacho and her minutes played. So, you know, the last 4 or 5 games, 6 games actually, she hasn't played 90 minutes, so it's difficult for her to maintain that level of that pressure.
Back with Hayes. And Venegas, who is on a yellow card, remember.
Well, we see Hannah Hampton stepping in as that centre back, but in this case it's Maisie Simons. She'll drop right in from that midfield, just trying to create a little bit more of an option back there.
Venegas wanting to find Haley there. By Bronze, hit the mic on the way through. Hayes.
Go, come on, Chelsea, man.
McLaughlin. Rayner. James runs it out. And back with Berman. Walsh. Impressed high up, Chelsea. Squeezed into that back corner, James. Nice trickery from her. To set Aggie Beaver-Jones off down this left-hand side. Had some support, the striker, back to Baltimore.
But again, it's really good play from Chelsea in those wide areas, just combining even from a deeper distance. And you know, Brighton were trying to put high pressure on there, and Chelsea just found their way out. Of course, it helps when you've got someone like Lauren James who's able to get you out of really difficult situations.
Thompson and Hollis Lagers going down. It's going to be a Brighton free kick, though.
I'm not sure why. I think they've changed their minds on that one.
It's a Chelsea free kick, my bad.
Well, originally the ref did signal for a Brighton free kick, so you'll be forgiven. That's a bit naughty, isn't it? Just such trickery from Lauren James. It was a Brighton free kick.
Simons back with Hayes. Still looking for another response, Brighton, to this dominant Chelsea side. Hayes once more. Walsh spots the run of Alyssa Thompson, and Dozie's outside her box. Shields it and does just enough. That is risky, risky business.
Well, I thought she was going to come out and clear it, and then changed her mind, which was the right decision. Still doesn't mean my heart was in my mouth. It's the right idea from Brighton. That's twice now, and they have the right ideas. It's just the execution of that final ball, and it's the same a couple of minutes ago with Caitlin Hayes. Look, she saw the run in behind, just not enough legs on it, and there in that case with Simons, too much. But they are spotting the gaps. It's just about that final ball and having a little bit more quality on it.
This time Hampton does find Thompson. Potter. Short pass to Nuskin. Chested off by Venegas, another Chelsea corner.
Yeah, just try and get them numbers back as well. It's a real shift from the Yellows tonight. Just don't want to be giving up corners that easily in those situations.
Played short again. Walsh. James. Oh, it's a rare mistake from Lauren James. Can't get her touch right.
And definitely something they've been working on. They've done their research. Brighton only send one player out. It's easy to get round it and then leave that edge of the box. But look at the space. And Frank Kirby did spot it, but it could have worked.
I'm sure we'll see that again as Venegas comes forwards. Kirby. Gloves on for her tonight. Hayes. Haley. McLaughlin. McLaughlin again. Looking for her options, wants to go closer to the byline, chooses to go into Nordham.
It's definitely a trend. They're just catching Berman in poor position. She's just stepping up a little bit and leaving that space, and that's twice now we've seen Brighton try to make that run in behind her. Again, it's about the quality of the pass, but it is there. The gap is there.
Kirby all the way. Seen by Hampton. Potter. Nuskin. Berman, switch of play from Chelsea, Baltimore. Lauren James. At the byline, swings it in. It's to the gloves of Ndozi again.
Yeah, just stretching, wasn't she? Way too close to the goalkeeper there, but just looking at the link-up between these two players, Baltimore and Lauren James, it's working out really nicely. Two very attacking players, nearly on top of each other there at one stage. Lauren James dropping off a little bit too much, but very dangerous down their left-hand side.
Ndozi waiting for the right pass. Kirby. Into Haley, leaves it, and Walsh is able to get there. Viva Jones on her own. In the final third, Viva Jones being swarmed by yellow shirts.
I think Caitlin Hayes has done really well there. She's being isolated in 1v1s and just holding them up and guiding them in there, and then of course Ollie Slager's just getting her foot in. They've done quite well, I think, defensively, Brighton.
And a yellow card for Rayner in the process.
Yeah, definitely was late, wasn't it? Enthusiasm to win it, I'm going to say.
So another yellow card for Brighton. And a substitute for Chelsea, with Lauren James coming off, and it is Kanisha Buchanan who makes her way on, having recovered from injury. Of course, this is her first time back in the league. She's featured in the FA Cup and played in the League Cup final at the weekend, but her first minutes in the WSL.
Yeah, I think they'll just push Sandy Baltimore up. Of course, she's excellent fullback or winger. Buchanan, I imagine, will be in centre back, and then perhaps Berman coming out to the left-hand side. Sonia Bonpastor, it's a brave move, really, taking off your best player. You can be sure she's feeling a little bit of pressure, still at 2-1. She'll be happy with another goal for sure.
Reverse fixture this season. Chelsea won it by 3-0. Haley seeing that all the way through. Looking for a mistake by Hampton, but of course is smothered well. This time last year, it ended 4-2 to Chelsea. So they do have a good record against Brighton. Entertaining game for the neutral too. Kirby. Hayes. Vanegas. Bronze easing some pressure. Back to Hampton. Here is Buchanan. And captain Thompson. Still going, Thompson. Thompson with a strike. It's off target. But we've seen her do that before.
Yeah, and it's really good play from Chelsea to break that press from Brighton, who are really relying on winning it higher up, because as soon as Chelsea break that press, you can just see the gaps, can't you, between the midfield and the Brighton back line. You'd be expecting Thompson to hit the target at least there, wouldn't you?
And Maggie Beaver-Jones's pressure paying off there on Ndozi.
No, you just cannot take another touch there. It's got to go. If you're going to play centre back to goalkeeper, again, you talk about your goalkeeper being good with their feet, but it needs to be moved quickly.
Referee says get on with it. Tug back on Walsh. Chelsea free kick. Walsh, Buchanan, Berman, Baltimore, Nuskin, nice control from her. Thompson into Potter, Walsh. Nuskin again. Finds Vika Kaptime, but she is offside.
Well, they're just finding those spaces now, Chelsea, and it's difficult. It's very difficult for Brighton because they weren't trying to have the offside there. They were rushing back. It was offside by a good while, but need to be careful here, Brighton. These are the moments that the game can change dramatically. This next goal is very, very important, and concentration levels will dip around this time for Brighton.
Just under half an hour to go. McLaughlin. Nordham. Venegas. Kirby. Venegas shoved off the ball far too easily. And here comes Chelsea again, and it's going to be a race, and Ndozi is outside her goal again. Decides to just poke it out this time, and instead of seeing it all the way back to her box.
I think it was a good decision. She does need to be a little bit higher, especially in those moments they're trying to apply pressure up and the back line are on the halfway line. Just needs to be a little bit careful in decision making. But it's definitely a trend here from Brighton. They want Venegas on the ball, they want her driving forward. She generally is good, but I do think there's been a lack of movement from Brighton tonight. I think they've been in good positions and seem to just basically freeze in situations where you need your players to move if you're going to be brave on the ball.
Popped out by Walsh! Just wide of the goal. That really took everyone by surprise from Keira Walsh.
Well, at the sound of the crowd, it was very, very close. Again, it's risky passing, dangerous areas from Brighton. They really need to tidy that up.
Does make you wonder whether having over a month off from playing in the WSL has had an impact on that, and it's going to be another substitution for Chelsea. And Erin Cuthbert, a fan favourite, a regular in this Blues side, and it's Alyssa Thompson who scored the opening goal for them, who makes her way off.
And this is what the big teams do. You can just turn the screw even more with the bench, and even though Chelsea do look a little bit light on the bench tonight, they generally have a really strong squad. And Erin Cuthbert brings so much to this team as well. I thought that Bompastor might be trying to keep her for the Champions League, but obviously not.
The rest of Chelsea's bench, if they're not goalkeepers, they are young academy products. So it is a slightly less experienced substitutes bench for them tonight. But nevertheless, they have brought on Erin Cuthbert. And some changes for Brighton too, in the midst of it. By the looks, and Pome and Kafaji. And a moment of breather for both sets of teams. What do you think, Emma, that Brighton and Dario Vidosic will be saying to his side? Because they've had more possession than they did in the first half, I think.
Yeah, like I said, they are recognising the areas that they can punish Chelsea. It's just about the quality of the pass. And I think Vidosic will be saying that to him. Keep going, just a bit more quality on that final ball. You know, it's 2-1, they're still in this game. And even though percentage-wise possession and it's heavily in Chelsea's favour, I still think Brighton can score another goal here, and I think they'll believe that too. And I think that's why these changes are being made.
So it is Nordum who just had that injury there, making her way off a precaution perhaps, and Arsenal loanee Rosa Kafaji makes her way on. A promising prospects for both sides. And it's Olis Lagers who is withdrawn, and Mpome who comes on, of course, the former Chelsea right back.
Yeah, and it looks like she's in centre back right there, and it's actually Venegas who's gone to that left-hand side, which will probably suit her a bit more if she's going to drive forward. They've gone to a back four, obviously, so they've changed again formation.
Baltimore at the far post. It's two Brighton players in the mist, and Jankovic and Venegas see it out.
Now it looks like Vidosic has gone to a 4-4-2 nearly. But it does allow Venegas to get forward more often without creating such gaps in the back.
Lauren James is going to make her way down the tunnel
with an ice pack on her quad. Just something nobody wants to see. Well, no Chelsea supporters want to see anyway.
Or England fans, of course. Oh, nicely done by Haley. And now options for Fran Kirby. Kafaji, fresh legs for her. Lovely spin from Rosa Kafaji in. And nobody is there but Lucy Bronze.
Oh, she's already brought a little bit more energy, hasn't she? It's a good ball from Fran Kirby. Kafaji just lets you stretch the pitch a little bit. She gives you that option to play. into those spaces.
Cuthbert, Beaver Jones, Berman, Cuthbert again. Big space now on the far side for Nuskin. Haley. Kirby clearly not happy with something. This tackle, most likely.
I think she's asking the referee to have a stronger punishment there. There's been 2 yellow cards given, similar tackles, to be quite honest.
Pommet. Cloughlin. Back to and Pommet. He made 8 appearances for this Chelsea side before joining Brighton in the summer. Kirby, another former Chelsea player, and Simons. Haley caught by Bronze, and that is going to be a yellow card.
It did look like it. Just have another look at it. Yeah, I'm not sure why Lucy Bronze is trying to plead to the referee there. It's definitely a card as far as I'm concerned.
Hayes. Pommet, poor touch, and Baltimore pounces. Cuthbert. Buchanan wants it. Berman. Chelsea haven't lost to Brighton in 9 meetings. And they've won 5 of their last 6 WSL home meetings between them. Last time they lost this fixture, it was all the way back in 2021. And they're looking on track to keep that record up.
They're a difficult team to play against, though, Brian, because, as I said at the start of the game, their style of football, it all depends on the day, really, and, you know, you can see what they're trying to do.
Venegas in, headed out by Cuthbert.
And if it works, it's really lovely football, and they can cut any team open, but because they're so expansive and they play on the cusp, they can be punished easily as well.
Buchanan, nice spin away. Haley. Mpome. Kafaji into Mpome again. Back to Kafaji. Calls for it inside the box. Kafaji still with it, twisting and turning. Out to Simons. And Mpome, nice 1-2 Simons, it's too far the touch. McLaughlin. And a big header away from Bronze.
It's a nice little spell for Brighton. And Kavaji's heavily involved in it. She looks strong. It's a decent ball in from McLaughlin, isn't it? Lucy Bronze does really, really well. Defensive header, but suffering as a result.
Cuthbert. Nuskin.
I still think there are moments in this game that Chelsea can control a lot more, and in previous games we've seen them do that. You know, now that Brighton have spread out a little bit and they've changed formation, there are gaps in the middle to play through and they're just not finding them, and I'd expect that a little bit better from Chelsea.
Maybe celebrating too hard at the weekend with the League Cup win. But they're still winning with less than 15 minutes to go. Cuthbert. Walsh. Venegas needs to be very careful. She is on a yellow card.
Yeah, I mean, when the crowd get behind that as well, it's difficult, isn't it, for a referee not to give it.
Potter. Buchanan back to Hampton.
Halfway. Back in the middle. A little bit higher. Right, you fight on. Go in. Let's go, man. Ready.
You can hear Dario Vidicic on the side. He's just literally talking them through the game. Very, very passionate.
Can you hear a manager as a goalkeeper when you're all the way back?
No, I was too loud to hear anybody. That's the problem. All you heard was me.
Commanding the back line. But giving away a foul there. Mpome. Rayner. Chip ball over to Madison Haley. Rayner. Viva Jones being brought down there by her former teammate, and another yellow card, and it's for Mpome this time.
well, she might be just getting the backlash as well for Venegas, because we still haven't seen that one over the far side. I mean, it's just clumsy more than anything here, isn't it? Oh, there's definitely a foul, that's for sure.
Back from injury as well, and Pomey. And what is that, the lights that have gone off at Kings Meadow?
There was definitely a flicker, wasn't there?
Poor pass by Ndozi, Potter picks it up, Viva Jones.
Yeah, it's just those moments, and I know it's Lexi Potter on the ball, the youngster, but that ball needs to be better. Aggie Beaver-Jones doesn't really want it there. There's two either side of her that should be getting it.
Right, and on the counter, Frank Kirby stumbling over that.
Frank Kirby has definitely had to run a lot more than what she used to in a blue shirt, that's for sure. She's just dropping off so much work in there.
32 years old too, running up and down the flanks.
Still young, Emily, still young. And still very much a wanted player.
There's the culprit. The lights flickering at Kings Meadow. Just about see them though. Back on.
That'd be a job, changing those bulbs. I can't see anything. My kitchen ceiling looks like that. It's not that difficult to change.
And Pomey. Kafaji putting some pressure on Hampton. For handball, it's played on. Cuthbert through to Beaver Jones. Offside flag is up
by a mile, and perhaps justified, because the reaction of the Brighton players, to me, means it was a handball, and you can see it just come off Potter's left arm there. But Aggie Beaver Jones is, yeah, she's a good bit off, isn't she?
Another substitution for Chelsea. And it's Captain who makes her way off. And Chloe Sari who replaces her, has played in 4 of Chelsea's games this season. Mate Ori is the other substitution for Brighton. McLaughlin is off, who's been prominent down that right-hand side for Brighton.
She has. She's just run out of a little bit of steam. It's difficult when you do win it back to get up there after defending for such long periods of time. So, oh, you come in here.
There is Sari. Lovely ball. And the offside flag goes up again on Aggie Beaver Jones.
Brighton will be counting their lucky stars there, because he's come on for McLaughlin, straight swap, and she was out of position there.
The other substitution is the Chelsea legend Frank Kirby for Brighton, and Svedsen replaces her as Mpome darts down, and Sari has to make a big challenge there.
It's a good ball again from Caitlin Hayes, really good, strong run. It's a great tackle for the first touch, Sawi.
The Chelsea Academy product, Sari. They've got 2 more on the bench tonight too. And we know they're one of the leading clubs in developing young players. Of course, Arsenal with a big academy too.
Absolutely, but would you put an academy player on 2-1 up with pressure on and at least another 6-7 minutes to go? That is trust.
Played in then for Brighton, headed out at the first player. Jankovic, Kifaji, Svedsen, dink ball up. Hampton is there once more.
Oh, I'm excited to see how Svedsen does in the WSL. She was excellent in the Champions League and a real standout player for Vålerenga. I thought initially a really good signing for Brighton. Haven't seen much of her.
Yeah, only signed in January. Svedsen. This is just her 3rd appearance in a Brighton shirt. Looking to make a big impact with 4 minutes of normal time to go. And Ori, the other substitute, a few moments ago. Dozy still playing out the back. It's still...
It is a Vidicic way. It doesn't matter how much pressure you're on. Play, play, play short. And she's doing it, and you know, that is the type of football. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Nervy stuff. 3 minutes to go for Brighton to rescue an equaliser. Buchanan, Cuthbert. Pomey with an important interception there. Not too great from Ori. Sorry. Cuthbert.
It's a lovely check back from Sawi, wasn't it? And confidence to come in such a tight game and be able to have the calmness on the ball like that.
Here comes Rayner then. No yellow shirts really around her. Jankovic. Haley. Madison Haley.
I think Madison Haley overran that. Probably should have released it a bit earlier, and I don't think it's a foul. Well, arms are out. Actually, I'm not sure. Well, from the referee's viewpoint, perhaps it looked more like a foul, but Madison Haley's been excellent in general today, and that was just her being tenacious on the ball, driving through. She'll create those situations for her team.
And now this is really important for Brighton. We're into the final minute of normal time. Simons strikes, hits the face of Buchanan. And now here comes Chelsea. Bronze darting down. She's got Sari to her right, and Dozie's off her line. Doesn't want to do it though.
That made me giggle a little bit. She's telling Ndozi to go back. Maisie Simons, who's defending a break, has the time to turn around to Ndozi. Please go back, don't do anything rash.
Four minutes added. Jones will wait for the blue shirts to flood back for this throw-in. A big night for Lexi Potter, who looks, with 4 minutes to go, to have secured the winner for Chelsea on her first start. 90 minutes under her belt too.
Yeah, it's been a really good game for her. She's done really, really well. You know, it's not easy in there against a good midfield. Really, really clever, really well set up and well drilled.
Ori. Tough header with Tvedsen and Lucy Bronze. To even readjust her headband for that one.
Yeah, it is. You know, initially I was like, I'm not sure, but it is a free kick, and Tvedsen did win the ball. She got there first.
2 minutes of added to go. Chankovic stands over this. Tvedsen with a strike, hits the back of Buchanan. And Haley down by Baltimore. Another free kick for Brighton.
Oh, silly. Really, really silly from Sandy Baltimore. Especially when you're playing against a player like Madison Haley, who's strong, will try and protect it, who looked like a little bit of a slip, I have to say, but still, you've got to be clever in those situations.
And Brighton will take it all day. There we go then, in at the near post. Oh, calls of a handball from Erin Cuthbert. I'll have to see a replay on that though. But it has gone out for a corner, nevertheless. And the goalkeeper's up, we've still got a minute to play. Did you ever come up, Emma?
I would never get back.
Punched out on the line by Hampton, and Ndozi will now track back. It's with Rayner. And another corner.
What a great corner that was. It was Maisie Simons who took it. Absolutely brilliant corner, right under the crossbar. And of course, when you've got the opposition goalkeeper up there, it just makes everything a little bit more nervy to defend against.
Here we go then, another one at the far post, almost a header by Ndozi, headed back in by Tvedsen. Kafaji on the line, everyone's everywhere. Well, we played the 4 minutes. Ndozi playing as an outfield player, and that will be that. Chelsea take care of business. Kingsmeadow. Another win under their belt for Sonia von Paster's side. Nervy right to the end, but what a night for Chelsea Academy product Lexi Potter, who has scored the winner in this game. A fantastic goal in the first half. On her first start, she scores her first goal in a Chelsea shirt. But of course, it was Thompson that put them up early on. And then an equaliser from Carla Camacho out of nowhere to give Brighton some life in this game. But at full time, it is Chelsea 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. So Chelsea get the job done at Kingsmeadow, Emma, but it was, you know, not secured, really. It was very nervy at the end there with Brighton with all those chances.
Absolutely, and you know, really difficult game for Chelsea. Brighton do some really lovely things, really good things, but then you would look at Chelsea and think you expect them to be a little bit better, be able to exploit Brighton a little bit more. But you know, it's the same story. They did the job, they got the points, and it's on to the next for Chelsea.
For Brighton, it's now 3 losses in a row for Dario Vidicic for the 3rd time since becoming head coach. Where will that leave them? Emma, do you think, Brighton?
You know, there are a lot of positives for them to take out the game. There are lovely moments for them. And the type of football Vidicic wants them to play is going to take time, and it's going to take his players and his type of players. So it's a project.
Well, we can have a look at some of the statistics from this game then, and Chelsea very much on top in terms of shots, but 4 on target to Chelsea, to Brighton, 1. And of course that was a goal in the end. Better in defence to Brighton, Chelsea, sorry. And Chelsea very much the better in quality in terms of passing too, and we can have a look at some of the highlights. And an early goal for Alyssa Thompson, a bullet header into the back of the net to give Chelsea an opener.
Yeah, and I thought Baltimore, when she gets into these positions, is probably one of the best in the world. But what a header from Alyssa Thompson. Absolutely rose up, but I think Venegas will be disappointed.
James and to Potter, who had a pop herself early on. Just warming up for that goal, though.
Yeah, exactly. And again, James involved in pretty much everything good about Chelsea tonight. Great to see her back in form.
And then an equaliser from Carla Camacho that snuck in at the near post. With a heavy deflection off Lucy Bronze, though.
Yeah, it was about that touch there, though, that brought her inside, just creating that space, making Lucy Bronze come all the way across. You've got to shoot to create anything, and wouldn't really expect her to score here. Don't think Hannah Hampton did either.
I didn't either. As they came again with McLaughlin. Struck just over the crossbar. And well, if that had gone in, that would have changed the game completely.
Yeah, not too far away. It's really nice positioning from McLaughlin, just coming infield instead of her usual channel play.
And the same for Sandy Baltimore once more, offload by Thompson, but Potter to slot in her first goal in a Chelsea shirt.
Yeah, it's great to see them all celebrating like this, but Sandy Baltimore, for me, is so good at this, just checking back and pushing the ball on. And we spoke about Thompson's lay off there. It's a great finish, though. Still had to be calm.
Chelsea still with their moments, giving it away, and Beaver Jones with a strike looking for a third, but a big save from Ndozi.
It's a great save from Ndozi. Maggie Beaver Jones could have been a little bit wider, but still you have to give goalkeeper credit.
And then Walsh from range 2, looking for the back of the net.
Yeah, and just, you know, those little moments for Brighton when they analyse it, those little sloppy passes, will have to be cleaned up a little bit.
So Sonia Bompastor and her Chelsea side in a huddle. Fresh off the back of winning the League Cup, and they're back to winning ways today in the WSL. And next up for them, they have London City Lionesses at the weekend away. And nice scenes for Lexi Potter with her side. "19 years old, Lexi Potter. Fantastic for her, celebrating with her Chelsea Academy teammates in Chloe Sari, who had to come on at difficult times today. Sari.
Yeah, absolutely, and I thought she did really well. I thought the two of them did excellent. That's quite heartwarming there, isn't it? How they support each other there, and of course they would have gone through the years together. I thought both of them did really, really well.
For Brighton, claps to their travelling supporters, but it's back to the drawing board for this side. Disappointment maybe for Chankovic and Simons.
It's also really difficult for the players to play that style, and you know, to week in, week out. You know, there's always mistakes in it, there's always the giveaways, there's always transitions, but to keep the faith and continue on that journey is very, very important.
And we can hear from the former Chelsea player, now Brighton, Fran Kirby, with Sophie Downey.
Hi Fran, commiserations on the result. What are your reflections on that game today?
Yeah, I think the first half we weren't good enough on the ball, a little bit probably too passive, probably gave them a little bit too much space, but second half I thought we really grew in confidence, grew into the game, and obviously towards the end we were pushing to try and get a draw. It didn't happen, but I think we need to learn from it, and we need to make sure that we come with the same energy in the first half that we did the second.
It's obviously been quite a while since you played football as a team. Is that maybe one of the reasons why it took you a bit of a long time to get into the game?
Yeah, maybe, but also, you know, you have to respect the opponent, you have to respect, you know, what they're good at, and obviously, you know, when you're 2 yards off it, they're going to find the spaces to play around you, and yeah, maybe a case of that, but I don't think we can use that as an excuse. I think just in the first half we just weren't good enough as a team.
As you said, you were much better in the second half. What were the kind of messages at half time to kind of up that intensity?
Just to be confident on the ball. There were spaces for us to play. In the first half we didn't find them, and you know, the spaces were there for us to use and to exploit, and then I think in the second half we just managed to just keep calm a little bit more on the ball rather than trying to play 100 miles an hour, and I think you saw that in the second half, especially, you know, how good we can be on the ball, and our little 1-2s around the corners are really good. So yeah, disappointed with the first half, but second half definitely loads to take to the next game.
And for you, being back here at Kingsmeadow, always special, I imagine. How good is it to be back?
Yeah, really nice. Obviously I haven't played it yet since I left the club, so I was really happy to come back, see the fans, but you know, I wanted to win or at least get a draw today, so I was disappointed about, but it's always nice to come back and see the Chelsea fans.
Brilliant, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Fran Kirby with Sophie Downey there with her former team, and we can have a look at the other results, or well, they're still playing in the West Ham Manchester United game, 0-0, and that would be a very welcome result for Chelsea, having picked up 3 points, and of course at the weekend Manchester City slipping up, only picking up a point against Aston Villa too. So we can have a look at the table, and Chelsea are up to second after picking up 3 points against Brighton. 7 points off Manchester City at the top of the tree. Manchester United slipping down to third, but only a point below them as it stands, but of course about 10 minutes left to play in that fixture against West Ham. So another job done for Chelsea. They pick up another 3 points in the quest to defend their title in the Barclays Women's Super League. For Brighton, it's a reset for them to go again at the weekend, but it's finished here at Kingsmeadow. Chelsea 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 1.